In today's episode of the Pathmonk Presents podcast, I got an interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Dave Shillingford, and he's heading over from the folks over at RightMarket. They help you to protect and amplify your brand with their solution. So it's basically a template system that ensures that your brand is delivered and maintained across all your organizational artwork. Definitely a pain that comes with growing companies. Definitely have seen that a couple of times. So really looking forward to learn more about RightMarket and also how Dave is thinking about growth. So welcome to the show.
Thanks, Lucas. Appreciate having me.
Sure. So let people maybe know a little bit more about RightMarket. What is it all about in your own words?
Yeah, sure. So, very, very simply, we are a software company based in the UK. But the way I like to kind of describe it for people that like literally don't know about us is you've probably heard of tools like Canva, right? They've kind of put design tools on the map. And essentially, we are Canva for businesses that are really serious about brand, right? Canva is a great tool to empower non-art workers to create artwork. But when you've got a network of, say, 200 locations up and down the country all needing to create artwork, it's really, really key that, again, there's tools that can kind of keep whatever's being created on brand. So, we come along with a super easy to use template system that locks down all of the brand elements that you shouldn't be changing, but just gives you enough flexibility as the user to kind of go in, make your little localized changes, whatever that may be, depending on what industries you're a part of. And then more importantly, get to the point with kind of getting hold of that artwork and then pushing it out to the ether. So yeah, just put it simply, helping organizations staying on brand, but also, yeah, helping them create that artwork within minutes is kind of the aim of what we do.
Awesome. Very cool. Now, what types of organizations benefit the most? Like, is there a certain scale they need to have? Is there a certain amount of designers? Is there what would be sort of like a good indicator to understand if it's the right solution?
Yeah, really, really great question. Yeah. So we don't really get too hung up on industry. We more look for what we call like a good fit, right? And what that often tends to be is any organization that has quite a finite resource for marketing or artwork centrally, but then they have a network of whether it's locations, departments, people, staff that are frequently asking to create stuff. That for us is a good enough indicator that they're a good fit to explore whether we can add value. So we don't really tend to get too hung up on company size, because even a software company like ourselves with a employee span of around 30 people, we actually do forgive the phrase, eat our own dog food, right? We do create artwork regularly, and more often than not, it's kind of can all be done from a template. So we're just looking for that fit really to explore.
I mean, it can start already at very small teams, right? I mean, even 3 people, 5 people can already go off brand pretty quickly. So.
Totally. Yeah, absolutely. And especially when, there's that frequent need to create stuff. That's kind of what we're looking for and where the tool can fit. But obviously the bigger the organization, the bigger the problem, right? And that's the point. We kind of do generally focus on not just the brand protection side, but how can we, get these marketing departments their precious time back? And ultimately, if we're getting them that precious time back, it's saving time and it's saving money, right? Because that resource can be deployed in more effective areas. So
very good. Now, how do people learn about you guys? Like, what's their journey like?
Yeah, so it's very organic at the moment, right? A lot of our business has come from referrals where we started actually heavily in the charity space, where if you can imagine a lot of charities, they have big fundraising networks, and it's important that they are raising funds. And how do you do that? You got to market, you got to promote these events that are coming up. So you can tell why there was a fit there, right? Being able to empower these fundraisers, right, to be able to create on-brand artwork that looks professional, but then promotes these events. And then because we started to add a lot of value in that area, more charities started to hear about us, especially in the marketing space. People tend to move from organizations to organizations, and because we did a good job for them, then they kind of take us with us, and we started to grow that, and we're now at around about 40 charity clients that we work with. But the great thing is from there, we then started to expand out into non-charities, right? Because it's essentially the same challenges. You replace that fundraiser with a retail shop or a department that needs artwork, and it's kind of the same thing. So yeah, referrals has been the way we've been doing it, but it's very organic, and that's something that we're trying to change, Lucas, right? We're trying to educate people that we do exist and that we can add a lot of value. So that's kind of the mission that I'm on at the moment, to create that brand awareness.
Makes sense. Now, if we talk about the website, typically marketers are always in the moment or just about to or plan to change the website. Like, how do you think about the page? What's its current strength versus where do you see room for improvement?
Yeah, sure. So, it was a good foundation for us to kind of try and tell the initial story of what we do. But as always, you can improve. And one of the things that we're looking to do is really kind of uh, articulate the message a bit better. So when you land on there, you instantly know what you're doing. We are a fan of trying to reduce words and trying to get to the point a lot quicker because, again, we do know our target audience, right? Marketing departments, heads of marketing, they're busy people, right? They've got all of these things flying at them from different angles. So, we want when people land for them to know who we are, what we do, the value that we bring straight away. So we will be evolving the website. That's definitely something that's going to be getting looked into. But yeah, that's kind of it, really.
Very good. Now, let's talk a little bit about sort of your perspective or your sort of daily work as in driving growth and marketing. Maybe tell me a little bit about sort of what would be typical projects, daily things that you're involved in order to drive the business.
Yeah, so my role is kind of two things. It's brand strategist, so creating that brand awareness, trying to again grow our social footprint as well because we are, like I say, quite organic in our growth. We don't have aggressive marketing campaigns. We haven't focused in that area. A lot of our growth stages really is on LinkedIn and using that as a great database to connect with people that we know we can add value to, but then also, try and put something relevant on their timelines, right? That might actually think, hang on a minute, this might be a value. One of the challenges we see that marketing teams face is they're very much caught up in the status quo of marketing, right? We're so busy, so we plug in more people, or we'll just try and be reactive. And what we are is essentially a better way. So what we're trying to do is just kind of prick that kind of thing in their minds to say, hey, actually, you know what, we could be a better way for you guys here if you start to think about it in a different fashion. So
Very cool. Now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about sort of your journey as a marketer. Like,
sure.
what I'm curious about is there's so much content out there for marketers these days. Like, where do you personally go in order to learn and to evolve? As a marketer, there's certain platforms, places, groups. Where do you actually find high quality information?
Yeah, really good question. So LinkedIn, I would say, has to be the one because there's so many different areas that you can kind of tap into. So really, what I'm trying to do is just follow a lot of good influencers, a lot of people that clearly have a lot of creds in the marketing space, but also as well, what's quite interesting is the people that we sell to as organizations are in the same role that I am, right, within the marketing function. So often following my clients and finding out where they're kind of spending their time getting their insights from is often where we then pick up great things and our learnings from. But it's all mainly through LinkedIn because it's just such a great networking tool that just, puts everything in one view for you. So
very cool. Now, I got some rapid fire questions to wrap it up for today. Are you ready for those?
Go for it. Yeah, feel free.
What is the last book that you read?
That's a great one. It's actually Right to Sell. I've actually got it here by Andy Maslin, and it's a great one that really focuses on essentially a lot of organizations when they're writing content they're always focusing on themselves, look at all the benefits and features that we do, but actually what you've got to do is change the mindset that you need to be talking and translating in your customers' world, right? What keeps them up at night, and when you're writing content, making sure that it's actually about them and not about yourselves. So that's been a really good one, actually, with helping with content creation. So
what was the title of the book again?
It's called Right to Sell, Right to Sell by Andy Maslin. So it's a good little read.
What's one single thing that your company is focused on the most at the moment?
Yeah, so in terms of what we do, Lucas, or in terms of what the mission is right now?
Whatever you guys are focused on the most. The one thing that comes to mind.
Yeah. So it's about kind of growing the brand, and making more organizations know that we exist. Like I say, Canva has been great for us because it's put these tools on the map, design tools on the map. But it's not great for every organization. So really what we're trying to do is educate these marketing departments and brands that we do exist and we add this value, and we could actually be a really good part of their marketing team, which means they don't have to employ more people, burn a load more resource. So yeah, brand awareness and just kind of more growth really is kind of the strategy at the moment.
Very cool. What would be the one thing, if you would have a magic wand for your role, that you would be able to fix? You got a magic wand. What's the one thing you would fix for your role?
It's a really good question. I would. There's a couple of things really. I would make sure that I would really tap into investing in mentorship and frameworks. That's been such a huge thing for us. Sourcing mentors, that we are not the experts with everything when it comes to like full-blown marketing and growing ourselves in that respect. So investing in mentors, finding frameworks that allow the team to kind of scale and work towards and stay organized is what I'd suggest there.
Is there a framework that you particularly like that helped you particularly in that journey?
Yeah, so we're actually adopting the Kaizen framework, which is quite famous from Toyota, which is about kind of improving existing processes, eliminating waste, and being able to kind of grow and move quite rapidly. So that's something that's kind of baked within the business right now. So that's kind of the heartbeat of what we do.
And if people would be interested, what's the way you found yourself into that? Is there like a book that you read, courses that you took?
Yeah, so my CEO, John Murphy, he's huge in self-development and surrounding himself with very, very smart people, and he was kind of put onto the Kaizen process as a way to kind of look to propel the business forward. We've been around for 15 years, so we are actually an established business. We've pivoted into this space, so it's about how do we improve those existing processes at the moment, and it's perfect for us.
If you could snap a finger and get one of your tasks that you have to do, often or repetitively done for you, handed away, which one would that be?
That's a really good question. Probably content creation, but I've actually got a solution to that, to be fair, Lucas, because we adopt and use ChatGPT huge, right? It's almost become, it's our psychic, right? It's like having a marketing assistant ourselves that can help us, do research, create content, validate the content that we're writing. All of these things at our fingertips. We almost use it as a search engine now, opposed to going to Google. So it's actually kind of solving that problem for us. But content's king at the moment, right? It's about getting that content out there, making people aware of what we do. So if I could snap my fingers and all of a sudden all of these great brands knew about us, then that would be great.
Very good. And very last question. If today would be your very first day starting to work on RightMarket, what's the one advice you would give yourself?
Yeah, it would be get a mentor straight away, get a framework straight away. I know I've kind of already said that, but yeah, that would definitely be my advice. And adopt ChatGPT, because this thing is going to help you propel forward very, very, very quickly. Those things combined, that would be it. Day one.
Very good. Yeah, thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmonk Presents.
Thanks, Lucas.